Hey everyone, welcome to Mythology Explained. Many tend to assume that gods, especially in Western myth, represent perfection, wisdom, or moral authority. But the Greek gods were never meant to be paragons of virtue. They weren't shining examples of how to live. They were cautionary tales of what happens when desire, pride, and power run wild. And in Greek mythology, perhaps more than in any other, divinity isn't synonymous with goodness. The gods were immortal, but not infallible. They couldn't die, but they could fail. Among the gods, none is wholly blessed. They embodied human extremes, not virtues. Zeus wasn't a model of justice. He was lust, ego, and paranoia personified. Hera wasn't the ideal wife. She was jealousy incarnate. Ares wasn't bravery. He was rage without reason. And Athena, often hailed as wise, was pragmatic to the point of cruelty. Each of them carried within them something profoundly human, emotion without consequence, power without restraint. The Greeks didn't worship their gods because they were good. They worshipped them because they were powerful, and power, in their worldview, was chaotic, emotional, and unpredictable, just like humanity itself. Every Olympian is essentially a personality archetype magnified to divine scale, and if we look closely enough, it becomes clear that they represent the flaws the Greeks saw in themselves and their society. Zeus represented corruption through authority. Hera represented obsession with loyalty and revenge. Poseidon represented volatility of emotion. Apollo represented the tyranny of logic and order. Ares represented unrestrained aggression. Aphrodite represented vanity and desire. And Athena represented intellect detached from empathy. It's not certain that the Greeks consciously intended each god to symbolize these traits, but perhaps it's precisely because they embodied them so vividly that the pantheon felt so alive, not as unreachable divine ideals, but as reflections of humanity itself, a cosmic mirror holding up our passions, contradictions, and extremes for us to see. As Ovid often implied in Metamorphoses, even the gods themselves are swayed by passion. As for the myths, well, they certainly weren't moral lessons in the modern sense. They weren't meant to teach how to be good. They were meant to show what happens when human impulses go unchecked. The gods were cautionary tales. Their jealousy caused wars, their pride caused punishment, their wrath reshaped the world. Aeschylus once wrote, "Even in our sleep, pain which cannot forget falls drop by drop upon the heart." The Greeks understood this, that even the divine are not exempt from the consequences of emotion. Suffering wasn't a mortal condition. It was a universal law, one that bound even Olympus. Even Zeus, the so-called king of the gods, spends much of mythology not ruling, but reacting, driven by insecurity, ego, and fear. He cheats, lies, and lashes out, just like the mortals he claims dominion over. And the worst part, he punishes them for the very actions that he himself commits. He condemns infidelity while fathering countless illegitimate children. He strikes down mortals for pride, while his own hubris shapes the very heavens. He demands loyalty, obedience, and restraint, yet offers none in return. In the Iliad, Zeus laments that the other gods wrong him, yet he wrongs them in turn. The Greek religion wasn't about virtue, it was about survival. Appease the gods not because they deserve it, but because they can destroy you. Of course, this interpretation clashes with how many people want to view mythology, as a set of moral or spiritual ideals like later religions. But the Greeks weren't creating saints or saviors. They were building characters, reflections of the human condition. They were constructing a cosmic theatre, one that exaggerated human nature to divine proportions. And the Olympians didn't rise above human flaws, they were those flaws, given power and permanence. And perhaps that's what makes Greek mythology timeless. It's not about divine perfection, it's about the uncomfortable truth that even gods are ruled by the same forces that govern us: desire, fear, and the illusion of control. And that's it for today's video. If you enjoyed it, don't forget to like the video and subscribe to the channel. It helps keep us in the good graces of the algorithm gods.